open up your webcam there, right? Open up your webcam there, guys. So you're on the car there, right? In the car there. All right, any question there, guys?
Sir,
Oh, yes.
so is that we have to color every pages?
Yes. You have to color every page there.
Is that like shading black and white or colors?
What is it? I can't hear you.
Is that like grayscale or paint using like different colors?
I don't understand the questions.
That coloring part we have
Mm-hmm.
to give shadings or we have to paint using red colors, blue colors.
Okay. So in terms of developing your illustration for the storybooks there, okay, the first thing that you should do first, okay, you have to sketch out your ideas there, your thumbnail first, okay, based on your story that you want to design there, right? Okay, the thing that you need to apply first before you need to answer the questions. Do you have the stories, okay, that emphasize on your characters, okay? You want to portray on your characters there, okay? So if you take a look at those videos there, okay, you have to develop first the thumbnails there, the ideas there, the arrangements for every page there, okay, that actually apply the story there. It's just like you're reading the storybooks there, okay? You're reading the storybooks there, okay? So if I want to share with you guys some of the sample that I've done before that help you guys to understand a little bit more on where you want to go from here there, right? Okay, this is something more like this one. Okay, if you take a look at this one, okay, this is the front cover of the story then, okay, of my storybooks. Okay, this is the front cover of it. This is the first page of front cover that from 13 panels there, right? Okay, 13 panels there, okay. They actually emphasize on the story itself there. So I designed the pages, the story, the visual itself based on the stories involved there, okay? And I also designed the title out of it, okay? How to design the titles, I will show you guys on the previous videos from group 6. Later on, you guys can check it out there, okay? So now, when they talk about children's books, okay, after you actually have designed all the panels there, okay, in thumbnail version, sketches there, okay, try to design a few different kind of approach on your stories in different thumbnails there, okay? That means one thumbnails, that means thumbnail is arrangements, it's a planning there, okay, of your stories there. You can design a few kind of stories, okay, and add a few different thumbnails, okay, 12 different thumbnails there to work on that. Those are the process of developing your ideas there. So when it comes to color them out technically there, okay, you can do you can use different kind of approach that works, but you have to choose one of the best styles that can be approached for your stories. Okay, so whether you want to color outline, you want to color detail, you want to color whatever that you want there, okay, it's all based on your planning there, right? Okay, if you take a look at how actually I develop these kind of characters and styles of these books there, okay, I'm using different kind of approach and element that apply the emphasize on the story itself, but they they actually will came into the same styles there, same approach there, same concept there, okay. So that's are the beauty of this design itself there, okay. I didn't actually have a restriction of approach on the arrangements of every element and props, but I developed a unique kind of approach there to this world there, because When you design the stories, you design a new, different kind of world there for your characters. That's why you need to think also to plan also how to develop your visuals along the way there, okay, in 12 pages. I did show you guys how actually I approach the panel itself already. This panel itself. You know basically the story about what? Spaceman there, right? Space boy there, right? So if I want to take these ideas, okay, into what we call into those visual content, or I want to visualize the illustration itself, okay? I will take one of it, for example here. Yeah, this is one. All right, this one there, right? So, like I said before, okay, before you need to design anything there, okay, do do a little bit kind of reference and research that first on your element that's going to be involved on your stories there. In my case, if I want to design a boy characters, don't try to copy from other people's works only. What do you mean by only there? It means use an actual kind of reference, okay, to develop the characters. So what I can do from here, I want to design a space boy. There I get characters there. I design a few characters just now there, right? Okay, from those videos. So this is one of the samples. This is one of the sample what I did with my styles there, right? I didn't actually focus a lot on one single kind of genre of my styles there. What I did basically, I try to keep my options open. Let's just say I want to design a character based on these styles there, okay? What I can do, I can actually redraw them back, okay? You see that? So if I want to use uh, this kind of methods of drawing there, just now when you saw how actually I developed for the strawberry characters there, right? That based on your friend kind of styles there. So that mean I try to emphasize how actually I developed different kind of approach, okay, for that particular kind of works there. So right now, I want to use different kind of styles there for these characters there. That mean different kind of strokes there. But when I actually design these characters, if you watch my previous kind of works, our demonstrations there, I'm actually designing this character were based from this kit there, this kit there. See? So I actually have a what we call it a very shortcut kind of way of working with it. This just to give you guys an example of how it works there. So I'm using a lot of line there to approach this kind of styles there. Now this kid want to become a space man directly, a space boy directly. What I can do, I will design a spacesuit directly. How to design a spacesuit? If you use on my imaginations, yes, you will know, you will never know how actually I approach them. But if you take a look back again, how I actually develop my ideas there is all based on the reference. All right, the reference there. Get enough reference, and then you redevelop them back, right? Okay? So what I can do right now, I'm going to design a very simple spacesuit there. Right? If you ask me where I get ideas there, from the experience there, because I actually have experience to become a spaceman before there. Right? You guys believe me? No, right? Basically, it's all based on the research. All right? Based on the research there. So this boy basically is around 6 to 5 year old there, right? Okay. To design a space gun also you have to do a bit more research. So in other way there, okay, everything that you want to design has to become a research there, has to be go through with the research first. If you ask me how actually I draw this one, it's all based from my imagination still. Right. But my imagination would came from experience. I'm not actually draw the whole thing based from my raw imagination. I experience, look at things in the right way, and I redraw them. Okay? So from here, right, I want to design a space kind of hollow suit. Okay? I don't know whether I can actually right here. What I can do, right? I can use a circle shapes there. Circle hollow kind of shapes here like this. Right? What I can do next, I can actually write these strokes there. Okay? You see that? The magic of Photoshop there, right? And I can actually distort a little bit. Yeah. Right. What I can do next, some of the areas right here, I can actually delete them. Right? Just to fit basically with the right to make the character the hollow basically is behind the hand, right? What are the next thing that we can do? We can actually move around here a bit. Hmm? Okay, see the hollow there, right? What are the things that I can do from here? I can draw. Let's just say there is some of the shapes that you apply from the ear kind of piece there, right? Okay, from this design. If you want to create this kind of design, I would recommend you to watch a lot of animations there and use it as part of your influence that you work with it. Okay, those are the tips there. Right? That's why research is really important. They're not just tracing them. Don't just copy from other people's work there, right? But try to develop basically your ideas from what you see. Yeah. Right? Just give these there. Okay. There. This one we can combine them. Here, right? You see those design, those plain outline. Yeah. All right. I think you guys have been go through okay with me before how actually I developed right those kind of ideas there. So I don't have to go through again there, okay? But right now what I actually want to show you guys, this is the batch. This is maybe the patterns there. Okay, for those designs. So from here, okay, from the thumbnail itself, okay, this is basically the rough ideas of the thumbnails there, right? So from here, I can redesign them back, and I want to find one of the best approach there, okay? Okay, before that, it's just a sketch line already, the sketch line. What I can do from here. Let's just say I want to color them up, but I want to color in different kind of way. Okay? So just now I'm using lasso. Now I'm using a very the same brush styles there, right? And add new layers. So what I can do here, if I want to use a different kind of color styles that works, I can color first there. Okay, this is one of the conventional styles there. Okay, you paint the whole thing. You guys can see that right here from my screen here, right? Is it? You guys can see there, right? You guys still here, or you guys actually fall asleep there? You guys? Yeah. Okay. So he's not wearing any glove yet, right here. So I just paint like that right here. And of course, okay, to go through with this kind of series of kind of techniques, okay, you have to test first your design, okay. This is one of the first ideas that I actually approached for this design, okay. So the next thing I want to color the hair. Can you see there, okay? I'm not using a normal kind of color combinations there. Normally people will color with black colors there, right? And I believe your life is quite boring there as a human. Oh, as a designer, then not as a human there. My life is quite boring as a human there, okay? The only thing that I look good into there, okay, when I actually start to draw. So if you guys actually use the conventional kind of colors there, like black colors for the hair, and I believe that your life is quite boring. Your design style, your design life is quite boring there, okay? So change. I'm using different kind of color approach, right? I'm using a theoretical kind of color styles there. So approach on my words. Okay? So this kind of color techniques, okay, for me, I'm going to experiment with a very off kind of styles there. So I'm going to approach with different kind of all that volume of tone, okay. But I'm still using the highlight. Okay? The highlight of shadows, the highlight came over here, for example, the shadow fall off are going to be here. There. Some of the techniques that people can be approached on the design itself, okay, they're using grayscale for color density. Right, grayscale colors there. So right now, okay, if you want to talk about an advanced color techniques, this is one of it. Right, the highlight there. I want to make this styles of approach for these illustrations a little bit more like the old school vintage kind of looks there. So that's why I'm using a very quiet kind of old kind of vintage color styles there. Okay? Even though the eyes, okay, the what we call that, the pupil directly, I'm using brown colors. Remember, right, the illustration has to be looked appealing there. So if you use normal natural colors, I can show your design will be boring there. So experiment with different kind of approach there. Okay. How to color the eyes then. Have you guys experienced this thing before? So the keyword is right now, improve your drawing styles efforts in any kind of way there. In any kind of way there. Okay? Improve your drawing styles efforts. Before you want to improve your coloring techniques. Okay, your drawing has to be improved. In any kind of way there, any other way there. Okay? Whatever that you want to do after this, improve your drawing styles there. So that's why I always emphasize more on the drawing technique, skill there, okay? Your development skill from there. You see that, guys? Basically, I can try color the whole thing, okay? But it shows basically the efforts, the understanding from you, right? Okay, what's next there, okay? The body itself, the body suit there. So the colors, even though we use vintage, but make sure they have a very good kind of approach, right, on the color code itself, right? I'm using grayscale there first for the whole design. There's a few kind of way also we can do from this kind of technique. Okay, basically what I actually show you right now is only one of the styles there. So today basically I already show you guys two of the styles there, okay, that can be approached on your illustration works. There's millions kind of style can be used, right? Can be approached there. I'm using red colors for the shoulder pad, okay, for the neck colors there, and also for the boots. Erase some of the things there for me. This is more like conventional kind of styles of coloring. Just like you working with the coloring books, right? Back in the days, in your childhood day. But the difference is you draw everything on your own there. Right? Easy, right? Not that hard, basically, right? Is it, guys? All right. Now, get the buckles, maybe more like a gold buckles. Right, the badge, gold badge there, right? This one maybe right there. Red colors there. Okay. So the next one, what is it? The gun. What color of the gun there? Okay, maybe the gun will be more contrast. Maybe greenish a bit, right? Right here. The gray colors there for those. This. one has to be bluish kind of green. You can see the key, how actually I using my kind of advantage of using digital steroid to work with it. So you see it's more darker there. Okay, right, the handle there again also going to be a bit more darker. And I have to kind of highlights from here. See? Basically we have finished but not yet. Okay, this one there, okay, this areas here, the hollow kind of areas there right here. What we can do, we get to add the kind of shadows over here. Right. Some of the parts over here, right? Okay. These areas have to be transparent a bit there, right? If that means, okay, check a look. Okay, this is the color there, okay, that actually painted, okay. It's very chinchai one, okay. The only thing that makes strong basically is the outline itself. So what I can do, I can actually suggest some of the line there, right? Not like that one. Yeah. Okay. I'm using wet sponge brushes, adjust the flow, just to paint right these areas that make it a bit more like glasses there. Okay? But I can do a lot of things from here. Okay? Yeah. Link, share the links. Then I have designed one of the space boy characters based from my thumbnails there. And you see how far basically can go from these sketches there into the final design there, right? Okay? That's how actually you can work on your development. At this stage, basically, I didn't actually emphasize more on the shadows. They're right. If I want to add some shadows, yes, I can. Maybe this is one of the Rina kind of question just now. They're right. Okay, what I can do from here, I can do various type of way of working with the shadows there. From using what we call that multiply shadows, right? See, I'm using purple as right, or I can use brownish as shadows there. So what I can do, shadows line are going to be a little bit more like this. But of course, all these steps basically quite advanced lot, but it doesn't have to be hesitated. It doesn't have to be worry too much about those styles. Yeah. About the highlights basically. Yeah. But basically, this kind of design, this kind of styles, this kind of approach, I want to focus for next semester. But it's good for us to explore a little bit from here to give you guys a bit kind of earlier kind of exposures there, where we can go from here, right? Where basically we can go from here, right? We have the shadows a bit there, okay? So we're not, right now, what I want you guys to focus is more on the creating the strokes there, the line there. The coloring is only a part of those accessories there, okay? But it can be look finishing. So where we can go from here, you guys can see the video, you can watch the videos. Previously, how actually I developed the the learning experience that they based on. Let me check the videos that this. This is good. It's 6. Okay, this one there, right? Hopefully this one. Okay, this video basically, you guys can actually browse back again how actually develop those coloring techniques without using outline for the background directly. Okay, these videos there, okay, it's very good for you to get those kind of approach from there. All right, but this one I want to show different kind of tactics of working with those character design, and also different kind of styles that to approach your characters. For those who say, oh sir, can I draw manga or anime styles? Make sure you don't pretend to become a manga artist lah. Make sure you can do it exactly as what you've planned to do. Right? Don't pretend to be a mangaka, right? Okay? Just to escape that you think that your design will look cool there, right? Okay? So the reality is you don't basically understand how it works there. So what I can do right now, if I want to design the title for this approach there, right? This guy named James there. James, the face boy director, and actually add some shadings over here. Right? Shadows there. To emphasize on the characters there, right? So if I want to design a typeface directly for these characters, so what I can do, I can use brushes to design basically the titles there. For example, like this one, right? If I want to draw them, this boy named right, James, right? Anyone named James here? No. James. So when I actually design my titles directly, I'm not actually write them, I draw them. Remember directly, I draw them. James, what are the name? The space boy. The space boy. For example, okay, this is the title thing. Maybe I'm going to draw a bit more like a vocab. Okay. Design the title thing. Okay. James is speaking. This is one of the way. If you lazy enough to browse, okay, the text directly, like this one directly, using a conventional kind of way there, right? This one I show on the videos there. You can use this kind of methods that works. You redesign based on the brush styles that you draw them back. You illustrate your kind of typeface there, right? Okay? The typeface there. So what you can do from here, can you see right how actually I designed them? Okay, based on the characters itself there, right? So I can actually redraw them back again from these kind of stories. Right, James actually loved robot there. So just pretend that you actually have saw how actually I designed the robot before there, right? So this is a robot toy that is from James kind of collections. Okay. So I'm diversify the styles there. If Rena just not okay, ask me about the styles to approach those background and stuff. Okay, this is what I actually one of the examples. Spaceships or planet, right? Don't just simply draw them. Sketch it out first. Right, I'm using a semi-doodle kind of style that to approach. The planet, in aliens with the spaceships there, for examples there. See? Okay. What else? So basically, I'm designing things there right now. They also love what we call that. What else there? Maybe a rock calculator, right? I'm using a shooting style that to work. But this is, for me, this is only a rough idea there. That's why I'm adding new layers from there. Okay? So this is basically maybe a front cover of the pages directly. They emphasize on the James styles there. But you have to go through with a lot of idea development first before you're going to go through with it, right? So what else there? So James also have the space cat actually right in the bubbles there. Okay, can be. Right. Have fun with it, right? Okay? Right now I have fun with it there. Jane also love what? What else there? What are the elements that we can play around with it? Okay? What actually have done there? Spaceship, aliens, robot, guns, right? Something like that. This is something that actually can be approached there, okay, on the works there. But this is not actually finalized there. Okay? I can actually redevelop more and more and more from here. All right. The title basically, as I told you guys, I design and redraw them. I not actually write them. Okay. The way that I approach with this design, with this typeface, with these titles, were basically based on drawings there, not writing. Okay. You can actually sketch out a few kind of ideas there to work with it. Right? Let's just say you have to draw another one already. James. Maybe you can use different kind of brushes there. Yeah. The different brush have different kind of approach there. Okay? This is different approach there. James. But it's not actually suitable. It's not quite suitable there. So you have to use a proper kind of way of working on that. Sometimes I just and brush here doesn't fit there, okay? Doesn't fit. Maybe you guys also can use like airbrush there, right? Soft brown. This one doesn't look fine. This one? This one look more like a spray can there, okay? Right? And then we can actually use a very like create our own bricks there. But this is, I don't know whether it's actually going to be the right kind of approach, okay, for the styles itself. But I can design them, right? Okay? James. The space. It's more like a b-boy kind of styles there, right? Space boy. Okay? Can you see, right, okay, the difference there, guys? You see the approach of designing there, right? So use the tools wisely that works on that, right? Okay? Any question there? Any questions? Or is it too advanced for you guys? No, right? Any question there, guys? No. Johari, you feel you're quite confident there? All right, when I talk about approaching your design, okay, if you think that you cannot draw well, okay, go research first of any children's book illustration styles there. All right, children's book illustrations other than manga, children's book illustration styles there, okay? Manga is not all about comics, right? Different kind of style there. Johari, if you check, look back again, both of Johari there, okay? Both of Johari are not actually bad one, okay? Because we have two Johari who have this kind of difficulty. I know there, okay? So this is a bit more like a very simplified kind of styles. But if you watch, okay, some of the work from Eric Kyle there, I don't know whether you guys have watched or read this book, the books, okay? You see how actually Eric Kyle, this is the old guy there, okay? I really loved his kind of styles there, Eric Kyle there, okay? His style is more like paper cut out with paint kind of styles of illustrations. He draw about animals, he talk about butterflies, okay, a lot of insects there kind of style, okay, but he even draw the characters there of human character, but this is the style of his human characters. This one also quite nice, right? A very naive, loose kind of style. So if you say you cannot draw well, it doesn't mean that you cannot illustrate that, but you have to combine the methods of working from your kind of understanding and exposures on the works, on the design itself, right? See, this is one of the book illustrations, right? With your level of skills, right? That's why illustration is actually quite open there, right? So take some of the approach on one of the styles of illustration that you can find interesting, do a bit more research on your skills to develop it. I didn't expect you guys can draw everything like this one, right? Even though manga style also, some of you, most of you guys cannot actually draw yet, but can be developed from time to time, right? Okay? I'm not saying you can't, but you need to study the anatomies there, the right kind of anatomy studies there. And of course, if you take a look at my kind of illustrations, notes right here, this is one of the notes that not from me, from others collected, okay? It's emphasized on the very good understanding on the human anatomy. So you have to read a bit, okay, on this reference there. and you have to develop and redraw and sketch it out more from here. All right. So Eric Carle is one of my favorite artists there, okay, that actually designed a very unique kind of approach. All right, Johari, Amir, okay, and also both Johari, okay, Jinlong, okay. This is also one of the best kind of style that can be approached using my kind of techniques here. Okay, this kind of techniques to draw the coconut tree there. Okay, I'll show you guys how to draw this coconut tree there. Right. Okay, so these techniques can be applied also with every Carle styles there, but using digital as well. Okay, see, this is one of the illustration. This is the professionals, international illustrators there. We're not talking about children's styles there, but professional illustration style that apply for children's books. So you guys can choose them. It doesn't mean you cannot draw anime right now. You can actually learn to draw them back later on, but you have to open up your mind from it. Okay, all right, guys. So Eric Carle is one of the best kind of children's book illustrators that I actually know. There's a lot of so, okay, you can see different kind of styles, a very unique kind of styles there, right, to approach your design. We're talking about design senses, not only the styles there. Color combinations kind of work, see? This is also one of the style that I always love to see from illustrators there, that you guys can actually develop there. This is like a lino cut kind of styles there, lino cut kind of styles there. Okay. It's a very good kind of what we call the style to approach. I really love that. That's what makes those illustrations kind of scenes is very colorful there, right? So I would rather, like you guys, before I'm going to approach on my design and my characters there, right? I would rather to do more research to test and experiment first the ideas on it before I'm going to approach for my works there. Don't pretend to be someone else. Don't pretend to be the thing that you like only there. This is one of the good example also from the children's book illustrations, right? From Kenneth Park there, right? Very good approach there. So in terms of illustrations, your options is really wide open there, right? You just only need to know how to use them to develop them the right way there, right? See how they combine the two different element of shapes and line together to show the depth of field, right? See, Rena, can you see that, right? It's all about unique approach, unique and appealing there. They still show appealing style there. This is came from, I think, one of the children's books from Brazil or Japanese, I can't remember that. It's very nice design there. Very nice design that combine three different elements, shapes, right? Textures, color, and form together there, right? Okay? All right, guys. So illustrations is really has a variety kind of styles and approach on the works there, right? Okay? It doesn't have to be specifically only one particular style, or something. But you have to do a bit more research on that, right? Okay. See that? The techniques, the coloring techniques are almost the same. What I've shown today, this is one of the illustrations that I showed you guys previously, there, right? From one of the artists there. Okay. But they use a very good combination of colors and line that to work there to make the approachable of this design with more appealing there. Okay. All right, guys. 50-50 confidence. You have to test first there, right? Okay. You have to test first. You have to experiment first. Like spend your time experiment different. But the first thing, find your subject matters there. The characters has to be only two characters in one single story there, right? Okay. From the 12 pages, focus only on only interaction between these two characters only. Okay, the main characters and the sub characters. All right, and then what you can do from there, you develop the characters back again and develop also your thumbnail of your storyline that based on your picture books, illustrations books, before you're going to finalize every single page, right? Every single page there. Okay. James Love Girl, yeah. All right. Okay, guys. Any questions? First of all, find the right. Yeah. Yes, Rina. Anything now you want?
So, for next week,
Yes.
can you hear me, sir?
I can hear your voice there.
So for next week,
Mm-hmm.
following a Saturday, what you have to submit? Is that include the colorings and then the thumbnails, picture book?
All right. The thumbnails, the element and prop that involve, okay, based on your stories, and you can actually give some one of the suggestions there, okay, that I actually have shown right now. Okay, this is one of the suggestions of my illustrations, okay, based on what we call that, based on our children's books there. Okay, this is one of my suggestions based on my our children's books, right? That I can use, okay, for examples there before I actually going to design a different kind of page. The thumbnail itself, you have to submit them, and if you can actually show also some of the samples like this, right? Okay, it's more better there, right? Okay. This is one of the techniques that I actually have shown before previously from group 6 that you guys can also test also the methods of working at the same time, right? Basically, these techniques I want to show you guys next semester there, but I know if I'm going to teach you guys next semester, if you are going to do a more challenging kind of work, right? So I want to give you guys more and more kind of experience from there. But these semesters, hopefully you guys can actually improve more on your drawing skills there, right? Drawing skill first, before you're going to add more and more detail on the coloring technique. Okay? All right? Okay, guys? Okay, Rina?
So I cannot understand what you have to submit for next week. Is that a sketch and the develop line?
Wait up, right? What is it? I can hear you.
When you have to submit the sketch and then the 12 page story developed line.
Can you write down directly because I can hear your voice there. Your voice
Okay,
quite deep
sir.
there, right? So the two characters in the story should be one evil or one good guy. I don't know that, okay? Maybe both of them are gay also, okay, right? Okay, I don't know, right? It depends on your way of portraying your stories there, okay? Rina is typing there, right? So, okay. All right, okay, Amir, okay, thank you very much, okay, and congratulations, okay, for having a new dad, right, okay. All right, thank you very much, take care, right, okay. Okay, Rina, okay, when we have to submit the sketch and clean up the line of 12 pages stories, when we have to submit the coloring there, right? I haven't actually worked with those, with the final one there, right, Rina? So that we prepare first the prop design for your stories, the thumbnail first, and you can add also some suggestions, coloring style for your illustrations that hooks, right? The final one should be the 12 pages of illustrations that based on the picture book illustrations looks has to be submitted in week 14. Okay, week 14 there. Okay, in week 14 there, right? When we have to submit the thumbnail there. Today, after the finish on 5 o'clock, our Bahil kind of what we call that? Bahil Balu, or what is it? Okay, those warrior epic kind of Tamil movie that I saw just now there. Okay, Arena, 5 o'clock. You have to submit, okay, the same as the prop designer, okay. Whatever that I actually have shown on the video for this week, for your group, for other groups, okay, just submit them, okay. Because I think there's a lot of things that we can actually develop from there. Right? That's why I don't want to have a very restriction. Okay, you just want to submit this and this only. Okay, because whatever that I show you guys, follow them back and we develop it. I'm not asking just to follow basically the ideas that I have, but how the process I'm doing them and present to you guys. Those are the things that you actually can submit them. Right? Okay. Because when I actually show you guys some of the details, how actually going to work with some of the techniques, some people still actually draw and trace from other people's works. Where did I do wrong from here? All right. Okay, this is one of the good example also to develop the sketch, but still can be developed something from there, right? This one from Jin Yi there, right? Okay? So this is one of the good, I think one of the good example to develop some of the ideas. Okay? I want to see the sketch line. One of the most important thing that I want to see how you sketch in the right way. All right, those are the things that I want to see there. Okay? Other than working with the element itself. Okay, working with the element itself. Right. This is not the right way for you guys to develop the environment and prop design because this one basically look obviously tracing from other people's works, right? From other people's works there. So Charun Cry, okay, make sure you redo back again, okay, and go back into my previous video how actually I developed the ideas on prop design, the elements that involve from the stories there. All right, okay, guys. Okay, Rina, do you actually have clear ideas from there? Okay, if you don't have any question, okay, thank you very much. You're okay. And hopefully, okay, you guys can actually write, okay, personal message me later on, okay, regarding to any questions, but always update with my YouTube channel there. All right. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a good evening there, okay.